Okay, this is the whipped running stitch, and as we talked about before, like there's an X that happens in each stitch, and if we look on the back, we know that it's a running stitch because it looks exactly the same on the back except for the knots are there that it does on the front. We go and we just double check in our work. What should end up happening is you should have this cute little X in between all of your stitches. This is where I started, so this one isn't there. So what we're going to do for the final step on this running stitch, if we look at these X's, they're a little bit loose, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go down, and I'm going to come up from underneath one of those little X's, and literally I'm trying to get my needle right underneath it, which you can kind of see here. So I'm going to move this out of the way, get my needle right underneath it, and I'm going to pin down that X with a contrasting color. So if I go in here, and then I'm just going to push that little X over and try to go back down in the same hole. That is the final finishing step for this. One of the reasons why we are doing that is because, oh, I hit my knot when I did that, so my knot is not sitting up against the back of my... So the back of your fabric should have your knots all nice and even down there. This one. The tails on them you want to leave a tiny bit longer because sometimes it may come down to that we need to tie it together with something else. So leaving a tail or two just a little bit long is good, and trying to start and end in the same place is good. So I've got my first little stitch pinned over there. I'm going to move on to the next X that should be in between all of my stitches from my whipped running stitch. I'm going to come up from underneath, and if I move the X over a little bit, that'll work out. I'm going to come up, and I'm going to go right back down, almost into the same hole. And we're just going to move around and do the whole circle this way. And then when I go to do my running stitch, I'm probably going to choose this blue because it's such a small color in there. But like I said before, if you stay with the boxes stuff, it'll all be there. So moving that back over, going down almost in the same hole that I came out of. And this is the final finishing touches to doing your whipped running stitch. This one you can see the X is just a little bit in a weird spot. See how it's moved over to the side? So I can totally use this stitch to help me put it where I want it to be in the middle of that stitch. But these should be the tiniest of little stitches when we're working on them. Okay, I'm going to finish that up and then we'll be back to do a back stitch.